This is JC from Real and Simulated Wars, and I am here just hours from the release of Field of Glory Empires, a highly anticipated strategy game that is going to be published by Slytherin and Matrix Games. The developer in this case is AG which is very well known for their previous strategic games. It is no secret for many of you that I don't play too many strategic games. I only, to be honest, the only ones that I do play with certain frequency are Strategic Command and other games from AG had previously an game engine called, I believe it was Athena or something like that, and well, it was very pretty and worked very well for certain settings. In particular, the ones that I recall to being the best, I worked like, fitted like a glove to the era where Rise of Prussia. I remember that game was really very great, and I played sometimes. And there was also one that was very notable for me in Revolution Under Siege. For whatever reason, that was one in the 1917s or 1917s, yeah. And well, it was great. I don't know if it was the distance or the pace of the Eastern Front. It worked very well. But in other settings, the AG engine was getting old, and despite the artwork, which was very pleasing to the eye and was a pleasure to watch at, it was getting complicated and couldn't handle many other situations. So we're here, that's a thing of the past, and we're here to try this new engine. I have been playing a beta copy facilitated by Matrix Games. Thank you very much, Paolo. And it's a game that I played a lot, to be honest. And you will have to forgive me if I may have overlooked some bugs or whatever. I'm sure that when it's released, somebody's gonna find something and gonna say, well, oh, look at this, how would it be possible? Well, that's a given for a game of this complexity, and we're supposed to live with this. And hopefully it's gonna be changed or patched, but I don't see any major game breaking bugs over there. So this is the presentation screen, and the beta copy that I got contains two scenarios. One scenario is a very short military campaign, just if you want to go into battle. It's very challenging. I played it quite a few times, and I got my rear end handed to me. The AI is quite aggressive, and by the way, you can see right here that you can set up the AI difficulty at your pleasure. And but the real deal is the grand campaign, which it may be. You will see why. So let's try to provide this review while I make a game on the strategic level. The year is 310 BCE, and you can go all the way up to the year 200, I believe. You have 500 years worth of play here. It is a turn-based game. It is a WeGo game. Haha. So not all of the old engine is gone, and you will see that in the interface and also in the design, which is very good. So I am here at the map, the Mappa Mundi, and you will see it covers all of Europe, Russia, and some of the, what are those, the Baltic states are not covered, but it goes all the way to the to the western tip of India, right there. And well, there are plenty of nations right here on the left that you can browse, and boys, everyone you can play. So there is an immense amount of playability in this, and the value is really incredible. One of the value propositions here it is that you can try, you know, many different factions and nations. Of course, you have the major nations like Rome and Carthage, and you have also remarkable nations right here, and then you have the other ones which they can be really very difficult to play and quite challenging, but the game is ready for you to play. It's not that it's going to stop you from playing certain nation, so very much opposed to what some other strategic war games or games are offering right now. I don't want to mention any names, but yeah, you know. The map is 3D, as you can see. There is a way to unlock the map. I saw that in the options, but I was never being able to tilt. I suspect it's due that tilting capabilities due to in the tactical battles. To be honest, I didn't explore too much, but it's very pleasant to the eye, and that has a lot of information. And well, wait. It has certain degree of you know, simplicity, and I think that helps the player to understand where it is. It's not like a completely crowded type of thing. It's very pleasing. It achieves a very good balance. So of course one of the favorites to play, it is Rome, which at this time it is facing war from all the sides. So you will find the description of what is going on and what are the challenges, and I'm going to select that. And well, one of the things that I was concerned about, because this was an AG-odd game, it is how long does it take to process a turn. And you know, you're seeing it over there, and you can play, well, yeah, it's so early in the game, just starting, but you know, I have gone up to turn 40 in one campaign, and the processing time is really very low. So that's great. Kudos AG-odd for, you know, bringing that treat for the busy player who doesn't have too much time for the things to be processed. So it will not bombard you with too many windows or anything like that. So you probably have seen there's plenty of videos. Oh, by the way, there is a series of tutorials that have been published lately by Celiterine and Matrix Games for this war game. They're great. There is a series of, I believe, right now at the time of this recording, there were up to 5 videos. Highly recommendable, and you can see there, and there is plenty of material, like people are playing this, and reviewers are bringing their reviews and playing it around in a more professional way than me, because you know, I have only how many hours, well, I forgot, but I have a record over there. It's not that I have 7 hours, but it's not that I have 1,000. Okay. So here's Rome, here's our capital. You see the map offers, this is quite minimalistic, and you will recognize many elements in the user interface from AG-odd, and you will recognize mainly too in simplicity. And that's the thing that I really like about this game. In many other offerings that are around there, which I don't want to mention names, but you get the idea. Many of them, they bore you with, you know, how many grapes the emperor ate last night. I don't care about that. I don't care if I need to, you know, put a stable in a very distant corner of the empire at that position because, you know, it's gonna help me to develop 3 crops or whatever. No, I really don't like that, and I don't think it reflects any type of strategic decision. That's, you know, small change for an emperor. I don't believe that, you know, any king or emperor would be doing that, or if he is, he would have a series of counselors or anything like that. But you know, the design, it is exquisite. it doesn't overwhelm you. It has solid strategic elements, and it really helps you to make decisions. And well, let's go through the map right here. You will recognize the many filters that have been available in other AGO games, like, you know, the ownership overlay, which is very nice. Our banner is red. We are Rome, and we have these three portions of terrain over there. They're not provinces yet, because you have to declare provinces, and you have different overlays that usually turn them out unless I need the information, like this, you know, this population overlay, and everything is coded in a very nice way, and the tooltips are really very helpful. And the design decision when it comes, for instance, for population, it is I-dimensional. There is no units, and you have, you know, a census to know how many people you have. You don't even have an estimation, you have just a number. And well, you know, it's I-dimensional, but it compares to your enemies and your friends. And another very important filter, supply. This is something that really blew my mind when I compared to these other strategic games that are around there, for which I don't want to mention the name again. And supply matters. Supply matters, of course. You don't want the population to be starving and blah blah blah, but also you don't want your armies to be starving, so you send them on a campaign to a very distant place where supplies cannot reach them. Well, they're going to start dying, and you better make sure that they have enough forage, and they're able to sustain themselves. And well, that's another thing that, well, this is just, I chose this army. You see right there the food usage, how much foods of unit they do need per turn, which is fantastic. Really brings another depth to the game, because you cannot plan a campaign and just go loco. And in the case of Rome, which is very interesting, it is that, you know, many of the invasions that you will have to do, like, for instance, I don't know, if I go for this objective in Sicilia, well, I will have to sustain. Probably I will have to bring my navy and bring supplies by navy if the province is hostile to me, if the invaded territory is hostile to me. So things to watch out. And of course you have the loyalty. I have not figured out how to promote revolt in other places, but, you know, it gives you a shade of green for the places where loyalty is very high. It's not loyalty to you, by the way, of course it's loyalty to their own government, but you can pick there and see in which places there is some sort of discontent, like these places in Spain, and in particular, you know, in this part of the map, and etc. Good to know, good information, but right now we have more pressing problems right now, rather than to, you know, seek revolt somewhere else. Very detailed game. Again, better manage and plan your invasions and your wars with a lot of anticipation, and you know, it's not a question of just spamming the enemy with units. You better be strong as any other conflict, of course, but it's a lot more nuanced than that. And there is also a factor of movement. So the military strategy part is very well done. Then you have, of course, the political overlay, if you want to see who governs who. And then you have the different provinces. Having a province brings you a lot of benefits, as we will see later. And then we have tradable goods, and that's a very important part of the game. And this is another part, for instance, if you have seen the tutorials, where you don't have to necessarily ask for trade. Indeed, you don't have to do it. It will happen automatically. It will happen as a result of, you know, how big it is your economy, how big is your, people making businesses, and how much is your savviness for trade, and they will find things that they need, and that will happen without your control. What you can do is to guide them, like, give them certain incentives, like building something that will help that trade to happen, or to obtain that tradable good in a more efficient way, or shift the population towards the commerce sector of the economy. And as you can see, there is no micromanagement. Everything is in very big wide strokes, which makes the game very playable, but keeping it very, very, very deep. And well, we'll talk about this later, about legacy and world wonders and the decay of empires. Empires do become old due to their age, due to the population, and many other factors. So here it is. There's another way where you can see it even better. And you have your diplomacy layer, which is quite nice, quite functional. Rome is pretty much very well admired in this region, so you will start to receive invitations. And I have to tell you, this is a very bellicose region, and people are fighting each other like hell, so that's perfectly fine. Then you have the issue of ethnicities. Unfortunately for the factions that I have played, they are straightforward, pretty much all the same type of ethnicity, so I don't know when that is going to start kicking. I do believe that, as soon as you get slaves, you run some risk of revolts sometimes, etc., but I don't know. And then you have your objectives highlighted over there. We had quite a few. You see that circle spinning over there, and they're clearly shown. So owning objectives help you for your prestige and the culture and the advancement of your empire. And again, you can see that the resources that you have and the things that you need to do are highly accessible. In the top panel over here, you have the money that you have and the rate of increase per turn, per year. We have a very modest, we have to kick this economy into some high gear right now, and I have not been able to do that because they invade me willy-nilly pretty much, and the population is around at 500, and it is growing at a rate that is less than 10% per year. I wish I could have more. Then you have the diplomacy. We are at the war with the Xenons, which are right here, over there, and one of the first things I'm going to do, I'm going to send a military unit to investigate what level of military resources they do have over there. And yes, if you are looking for metal productions, which is a very important resource for generating weapons, and you can also trade it, you will find it over there. It is also, you know that you cannot trade it or something like that. And fellows, we have the ledger. That sounds very familiar. That sounds very AGO, doesn't it? Yeah, it is there. You can list your regions, your population levels. You see I-dimensional right there. You have the different regions with their military recruitment, I believe. We have every region with their trade. We have the armies. Right now we have only one army, but I'm anticipating that we'll need to raise some serious units, and because war is happening. And this is a list of your leaders. Something very nice that really surprised me, it is that every time you play, you load this campaign, not you load, every time you play it, you restart it, these generals are kind of randomized, and their traits do change. So adding to replayability. And sometimes that can be very challenging because, you know, I once got a guy who, well, was great with supplies, but unfortunately there was enough food, but I needed somebody who could really kick some butt, and he was not able. So better watch it over there. You can see that they do have an offense and a defense rating, and also some modifiers which help them to accomplish their missions or win the battles better. No battles yet, and you have the CDR here, and you have the rankings in terms of legacy, and you can do pretty much whatever you want. Right now it's just turn number 1, so not too much to see over there. You have the different factions in case you forget, but you can go to the map and click on them, and it will tell you whatever they want. There is a fog of war option, which is great. Usually this fog of war means that if in some region where you have an army in the nearby region, you will know more or less how many units the enemy has in terms of combat power, but that's it. It will not tell you the exact composition, so something to be very careful about. And well, history, of course there is no history yet because, well, it is turn number 1. Another great thing of this blessed game, it is progress and decadence. And I'm going to click here. You see 2 parts here, high cultural or culture value and the decadence, and you see the ratio is very important to determine if you're, progressing or you're becoming like a decadent society. Every time something bad happens, it's not only the ratio, but every time something bad happens, it will give you a token right there, depending on what that is. So it's very important to keep your things in place, and of course your legacy value is based in the culture, which we have shown before, the ownership of objectives, which is not less important, the form of government, of what they were able to achieve, and the world wonders, how many buildings or achievements you can do in that type of aspect. And of course you have also decisions to make. That is something that is also feels like a leftover, not a leftover, but a design that is still present in Field of Glory Empires from the AGO design team, which is great. I have no complaints about that. They help you a lot. Okay, so just let me quickly show you. Let me close that, and let's go to this region, Latium. Right there you will see that the population is 14, and you will see how many slots of population are allocated to different aspects of the society. This is agriculture and health. Right now we have an aqueduct, which is a level 2 type of building, and this is the most, well, it's not necessarily primitive, but it's kind of the fuel of everything, and it helps you to grow your population and to maintain it. Then you have the military aspect. Right here you have the capital, which is a level what is this, level 3? Oh my god, yeah, this is a high value structure. You have walls, you have barracks, you have a martial camp where you can train your troops, and this is also considered a wonder, I believe, but it's tier 1. Well, I don't know, I will have to check. I apologize for that. And that is the military or infrastructure aspect of the economy or the functioning of this particular region. Then you have here commerce and industry. You see, we have very few people right here, and we have a serious amount of resources, not resources, a series of buildings or infrastructure for it. We have paved roads, we have forge, and we have a potter's workshop, which is a thing that we end up trading. You will see it later, or maybe not. And then we have this other aspect, to which I'm going to switch people: culture or government. And right now we have the Senate only, which is a level 2. It's not a bad thing, but you can switch these population slots from one place to the other. For instance, if I want to, well, unfortunately we have to keep the military here, but for instance, if I want to change this guy which we left, you can switch these slots pretty easily. And of course, if you were wondering, you can build. And building is kind of slow. It takes at least 1 year, of course, but the resources that can come and the consequences that can come from them are pretty, pretty intensive. So you better watch what you do. And the minimum was 1 turn, but of course some of them, like for instance, if I want to fill a new farm, I will have to wait for 4 turns. Yeah, turns before completion number. The number of turns is 4, which is quite a long time to wait. And also, I don't want to leave you without seeing this thing, which is how to build armies. So we have a lot of money, and the manpower is kind of not of an issue right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on certain particular unit, which for instance, I have Legion here. Legion, I'm going to create 1 Legion and another Legion, which will be available next turn. And if I click another one, it's going to be available in 2 turns. So what about some missile or skirmishers? Next turn, 2 turns. I don't like 2 turns, so I'm gonna just leave it right there. And then we can go to these other places. Hold on a second, I have to we'll be back in a second. And I am back, and I wanted to show you how to administer your armies. You see that army that I clicked over there, and it is basically 2 legions, 2 wings or ally. I have skirmishers for 3 units. I have light cavalry and light cavalry 2 units. So what you can do, you can split it, you can merge it with other units. Right now we cannot afford that thing, but I never tried to split, so I wonder what would happen if I, for instance, split this one out. Oh, there we go, that's beautiful. So I'm gonna send this guy, I'm gonna give him a general, and the general's available. You see what you did? I just click it, right click it into the icon for the leader of this unit, and it was open, nobody was there. So I'm gonna give it to somebody who has I'm gonna save Nepos for the main army. I don't want a coward. What type of treat is that? I don't know. I'm not gonna be engaged, so I'm gonna give Vatia and be happy. And you see, this is another element. You see how I'm scrolling using the tabs. Another AGO touch over there. Alright, so I'm gonna send this cavalry unit, let's call it Roman army number 2 for some reason. So hopefully they will be able to give me some information. Oh, I sent the wrong guy. Hold on a second. Who I'm selecting here? Oh, that's so bad. So the way to revert an order to move, backspace. You see how this thing is screaming AGO, which is a good thing. You know, it's like receiving a good friend who has changed it. And that's it. So I send that guy over there, and this guy, I don't want him to go anywhere. Oh, I cannot revert the order. Oh yeah, I can. It's like you know, these icons have become a bit too close to each other, but you can see the two flags, and you can eventually, if you click over there, the way to untangle these or declutter is this, just to switch between the tabs, and that's pretty much it. Now, oh, by the way, before, well, I give Batia to this guy, and my first Roman army, let's change the general. I'm gonna give this Nepos, kind of an older guy apparently, and we're going to wait until the next turn to see what happens and see what are my chances of getting into this other unit, and to get into war with the well, you know, the Xenons right there. Alright, so that being said, I want to show you how the turn progresses and how fast it is, because I know that many of you had some you know, some issues with the previous AGO engine, and you can see 98% right there in the upper right corner. Now it's running the AI. Boom, that's it. I don't have a stellar computer, I have an off-the-mill regular PC, so that's great. And well, you know, we're popular guys, we're Rome. So they started, you know, the Sardinians have sent us some messengers over there. They're asking for cooperation. And one thing that I am sorry I couldn't figure it out, it is how to find out who is at war with who. Because sometimes they ask you, hey, you know, do you want to be my friend? And you say, yeah, of course, you're in. And you get into a war that you don't need. And right now, you don't have to underestimate anybody, because all your neighbors are pretty much into you. So I'm gonna agree, just do not piss them off, but it is not an alliance, it's just cooperation. And boom, there you go. So the process of, you know, progressing or receding in terms of culturally, it is detailed in the tutorials. It is also very well explained in the manual, which is available online. Needless to say, it is an aspect that you need to be very careful about. And as you can see, our ratio, hey, this is the same, well, I cannot recall right now, but apparently we're going down. Our ratio between culture and decadence has gone down. All right, so what's next? Look at this unit. It has effectively found out about the enemy. They have 8 units, and since we have fog of war, sorry, I cannot talk right now, you were not able to see. You had a very, you know, faint idea of what was happening over there. Like, for instance, where was I seeing this? Like in this province right there, you will see, well, I don't have any armies nearby, that's why I cannot see it, but right now, from a very vague idea, I now have a detailed description of what they have. And this guy apparently is a good general, and I don't know his traits, It's not that bad. Okay, so I'm gonna do some homework here, and well, that's the message that we received before. I'm gonna, how do these regard this? Apparently you can't. Okay, so if we click right here, are my units ready, sir? And yeah, there should be. Where are they? Oh, they have been automatically included in my army. So time to march to war. And I'm not giving it too much consideration to what I'm doing. And probably what's going to happen, it happens to me so many times. It is as you engage the Xenons right here, you will get attacked immediately by the Samnians right here. But each city has a garrison, so it's not that bad. So let's wait for the next turn. And I'm not building anything or constructing anything. I just want to show you a battle, how battles are resolved. Processing turn. The AI is running. Completed. Boom. Okay, our cooperation agreement is ready with the Sardinians, or the Sardines. Yeah? So I'm going to merge these two armies. Look how beautiful is this. So I'm probably being a bit overcautious, but again, this is not Blitzkrieg, so I have to give it time. So how many units they have? We have a combat power of 26. We have a combat power of oh, the Etruscans have declared war. How cute they are. Okay. Let's invade the hell out of these guys. Get rid of them and quickly move to another issue. And of course, you have to not leave your nation unprotected. So I'm gonna create a couple of legions right there. Wow, the cost, what is it? I cannot believe that the manpower is an issue, but money has become very low. So I hope it is because of that I'm not able to recruit units very fast. The other nice kink in this game, it is that you can recruit mercenaries when you have nations that don't have the regular manpower. You can go on a hiring rampage and get mercenaries if you have the money, of course, and for which again it is very important to develop the economy and have the resources. And that's another mechanism that is available over there. Well, here comes battle. So there are several ways to resolve these battles. One way it is just to click the skip button and be done. That's pretty much it. Or what you can do, it is to export the battle into Field of Glory. That's very entertaining. It's not that cumbersome. You have to click export the battle, quit the game, go into Field of Glory, open, import the battle. There is a button for it. It's not that you will be coding or providing some script or anything like that. It's all pre-built, very seamless. You fight your battle and then you export the result, and it will be automatically read by the Empire's part of the game. And that's it. That is if you want to, Sometimes you're interested in putting your special touch to these battles, and that's pretty much fine. The other way to do it, which I wanted to show you today, it is to view the battle. This is pretty much what happens, and it is not like you can control anything. Everything is controlled by your generals. There are several phases. Missiles. Then you have the skirmishers. And as you can see, oh my god, we're not winning. I'm mortified because our combat power was pretty high. So anyway, it is what it is. So let's wait until it ends. You can rewind and you can fast forward if you want, and do pretty much whatever you want. And the final phase, which is pursuit, and that's it. So I have to tell you that depending on the traits of your generals, you will see them deploying differently. You will see them doing different things. So it's not a game where you will put, you know, symmetrical arrangement of units and in this automatic resolution or resolution by the computer. There is a lot going under the hood for this, and there are modifiers, and there is terrain to be considered, and everything is taken care of by the engine. So don't underestimate what is happening here, and I strongly recommend you to take a look through the results. And this is just a report where you will see what actually happened. And well, oh my god, they had a lot of units. That's why we lost. Anyway, we're going to leave it right there if we can, unless they pursue us. But anyway, the turn needs to be resolved, and now it's completed. And what else? And now we are in the next turn. Oh, we have lost a lot. So it is time to make some decisions on what is going to happen with our empire. So I'm going to leave it there. I don't want to make a very long video because everybody has, you know, other obligations to attend for. But I have to tell you that I'm very pleased with this game. One thing that I was thinking the other day, it is not that AGO has built an engine on top of Field of Glory, and neither that, of course, you know, Field of Glory is older than Empire's version. Not that Field of Glory has built anything like that. It's a perfect synergy, and it is not an afterthought, after each other. The two games complement each other very well, and this particular offering, the Field of Glory Empire, what I would like to point out as the main value propositions are the expanse, the immense replay value that you have over there, the depth, and the relative simplicity of the design, where all the strategic elements that need to be there are present and are actually shown to the player at the level of complexity that is very approachable, even for mere mortals like me that cannot afford to play other games that are more detailed, for which I honestly I don't care for. So this is a great new development, and I hope that this doesn't end here. I don't know what's the possibilities for DLC. There is always possibilities to add different factions. I don't know where this will lead, but I don't care. Right now I'm just hoping that this is not the last, and that this can lead us to, you know, further development, because it's working really very nice. That being said, the release date is tomorrow at the time of this recording, and I highly recommend this without any hesitation. And well, you know, if you're into strategy games, if you're a hardcore player, I also recommend it to you. This is not a dumb game. It's not a dumbed down civilization type of game. It is quite deep, and I think that one of the things that you have to appreciate it is how these design decisions, how these game design decisions had been taken and executed almost flawlessly. So I will see you in the field, and thank you very much for watching.